Okay, when I do these books, I do a ton of research. Like, I have big stacks of books that are so tall that before my poor dog died, she couldn't get anywhere near me. That's how much research. But the other thing that I do that's really fun is that I travel all over the world to get research for these books. And for the Darwin book, I traveled to South America, and I traveled to the Galapagos Islands, and I took zillions of photographs of things that might be in the book. So let's take the cover, for example. Charles Darwin had his portrait done a lot, but not during that period at all. So all the pictures we have of Charles Darwin are one when he was a kid, and it's hard to tell exactly, but he looks about 8 or 10 to me. I forget his exact age. He was young. And then the other one is a few years after he came back. Those are the only ones that are anywhere close to when he took this trip. After he came back, he got real sick apparently from something he picked up along the way, but we're not sure exactly what made him sick. And his hair was also starting to thin. But what did he look like during that period? So some people said Darwin had brown hair, and some people said he had blonde hair, and some people said he had red hair. And I can see why. I know what portrait they were looking at, and it's impossible to tell. And they also said he had brown eyes or blue eyes, but nobody knew. And everything else is sort of in black and white that I could get in touch with, or it's very much later and confusing. Some paintings, you know how paintings go. And so I had to decide what to make him look like. So we knew he had very heavy eyebrows. We knew that during that period he would have had these certain kind of sideburns that were fashionable, and we knew what he wore. So we're good to go on that, and we knew what people wore on the ship as well when they were a sort of, I don't want to say a nobleman, but people of the upper class wore different clothes from people who were not from the upper class. So we know what he wore on board. And so I figured if he was out in the sun a lot, that if he had blondish, reddish, brownish hair, that it would have been sort of bleached by the sun. So I gave him a kind of windblown bleached hair, and I gave him the strong eyebrows, and I gave him the kind of nose he had and the kind of clothes he had, and he was a real happy guy on that ship, so he's got a big grin. And I put him in a forest because he loved Brazil, just adored it, and he thought it was gorgeous. So I took the animals of South America and incorporated them to the front and back covers. And I made sure they were accurate, and I took their pictures as much as possible, and lots of hummingbirds and butterflies, and there are flowers on the cover that I have a lot of photographs of. There are these red flowers that hang down like so, and they were very common all over South America, and so I put those in. And every single page I do in the whole rest of the book is that carefully coordinated so that the research is done in enormous depth.